How's it, everyone? Hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome to How's It Cousins, the podcast where we take a look at the unique people of the world, real or fake, and the interesting things they do. We talk about them, we relate to them, and hopefully we help you relate to them as well. This week we're going to try something new. We're hype for Captain Marvel coming out. But we're not going to talk about Captain Marvel in the most direct sense, because the other interesting element of that movie, at least from what we tell, is we're going to get a good look at the origins, or at least a lot of the backstory behind one of the most mysterious figures in the Marvel Universe so far, Nick Fury.
How's it, Chris? Are you talking about Nick Fury? Yo, I'm down to talk about Nick Fury. Let's do this.
Aloha, Alvin. Welcome to the first ever non-real person podcast.
Yeah, man, I'm always down to talk to you. Should be fun. Let's do it.
Before we jump in, I want to remind you that you are watching the How's It Network. We are broadcasting live on twitch.tv/How's It Network. So if you ever want to jump in our chats, just stay tuned to our social media at How's It Network, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we'll be announcing when we do our live recordings, so you can jump in and interact with us. If you like what you're hearing, you can check us out on all the popular podcast services, Apple, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, anything where you want to hear us, check it out. HowsItNetwork.com has all of our information in a consolidated place. Alvin, you got anything you want to plug before we get started?
Yes, my name is Aloha Alvin, and you can find more of me at AlohaAlvin.com.
All right, so we're talking about Nick Fury.
Oh, wait, Chris. I got to say this.
What's up?
Because you used a specific word earlier, so now I got to throw this down. Okay.
Go ahead.
So there's an episode of The Simpsons where Lisa Simpson is in the comic book store, and then she's like, oh, what's this? What's that? So the comic book guy, he's like, all right, so this is an issue where Superman races, I don't know, Steve Jones, just a random athletic guy, I forgot. And then she was like, oh, that's cool. It's kind of weird or whatever. They're talking about it. And then he goes, yeah, but it's not real. And then Lisa says, these are comics. None of this is real. And the comic book guy's like, get out of my store. So fake. Okay, you know what? Fictional. How's that? Fictional. I mean, they're real to me. Real enough. I love these characters. There you go.
I'm fine with fictional.
Yes. Okay.
This is the first time you've ever cut me off on the opening.
I had to.
That's
man,
fine.
I love that.
That's
Lisa
fine.
thing. Okay, so
That's awesome.
Okay.
So Nick Fury, he was actually the incarnation that we know now as Samuel L. Jackson in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That actually was not the original incarnation of Nick Fury, right? Back in the day, in the, I think it's 60s, as it was, Nick Fury was a war veteran. He first came out in the comic Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, May 1963. And he was, the leader of a war unit. And it's interesting to see that at that time, that is what people wanted to read about. The war hero was a hero for your average American, we'll say, comic book reader. So Fury was created kind of to embody that, as I understand it.
I think that's pretty accurate. Okay, on that note, I want to mention something because I forgot where I first got this. But let's say, right now, I'm going to make a character. And this character is going to be cool. Okay, cool man. Let's make it a cool man. So what is a cool man like? So in my brain, because this is old school, black leather jacket, old school, right? Slick hair, automatically cool already. Maybe throw a motorcycle in there, extra cool, more coolness. And then smoking. Smoking is cool, right? Smoking looks so cool. And it's interesting because Nick Fury, in my mind, always had a cigar. Always. Yep,
100%.
It was ridiculous. So, of course, that's not how it flies now. And as you know from the movies, to my knowledge, he doesn't smoke at all. And you know what? He's still cool.
Right?
Did he? Oh, no, you're right. When he had a beanie.
In the beginning, right? Oh. I know in more recent ones, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that in the beginning, when he first came out, he was smoking more. But once Disney took over, they're probably like X-nay on the smoking, That's going to be my guess.
True. I want to say prior to Disney, even then, I feel like it was a cultural shift. You know those commercials, Truth, and don't smoke, it's bad for you. Yeah. My point, especially as a writer, writer point of view is, yo, you can make cool guys and not smoke. That's still a thing. But as like a anachronism, I guess, nowadays, that was a thing. That was totally a thing. You want to make a guy cool, you make him smoke. And that's how I felt for Nick Fury. It was a weird thing now that I think about it.
Yeah, exactly. So once again, back in the 60s, it was a cool thing. So he was smoking all the time. All the time.
There's
So, yeah, go ahead.
I think this is a Family Guy joke, but it was like, sir, what would you like for breakfast? Give me some bacon and eggs. Would you like cigarettes in that? Yeah, I want cigarettes in it. You know, like what? Cigarettes and bacon go in your, okay, anyway.
So Nick Fury, is a war dude. Then he became a CIA agent. Again, if you think about it, another cool thing from the 60s,
True. That's true.
the allure of the CIA. We don't know what the CIA does. They just do crazy government stuff, secret stuff.
True. This is me being totally real here. I've heard of Nick Fury. I've seen him many times. And I know he is also considered like the beast mode of all spies of all time and etc. I don't know anything spy-y that he's done. As weird as that sounds, can you name stuff?
So as we go through this, I think in the later years, he does more spy-y stuff. I mean, okay, he was a CIA agent for a while, right? He was the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's kind of his paramount role, right? Director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
But I don't know directly all of the things that he did. See, the thing about it is, Nick Fury is a very interesting character, but I remember back growing up, I didn't follow him all that much. And I think it's because, and this is kind of a point to make, and maybe we'll jump into it now, is that he didn't have superpowers.
True. That's a fair point too. Well, okay, I'll say this. So Captain America, Steve Rogers, he's an old man. Like in some of the comics, they jokingly call him Grandpa. And the thing about him is he's totally not human. As we see from the trailer for one of the Captain America movies, he jumps out of an airplane with no chute. That's just normal for him, So the reason why I say that is Cap's, alive and kicking and healthy right now. To my knowledge, Nick Fury should be older than Captain America. So something's going on.
That's his one, I guess, power, is that over the years, he's been taking a serum called the Infinity Formula.
Okay. Interesting.
Basically, he was, I think, either hurt during the war or as a CIA agent, and then he was experimented on with this formula, and what it does is that it prevents his aging. That's why he's able to keep his look the same from the 60s all the way through like the mid 2000s. But other than that, besides just being young, and I guess in that case having slightly better healing than most, but not Wolverine style,
Correct.
That's all he's got. Now, granted, like you said, secret agent man, right? Like highly trained, military, right? All the combat stuff, but that's his thing.
Okay, so like let's go to Batman, right? Batman's a normal dude. I've seen him fight the world's best fighters. That's kind of what Batman does. He's an incredible person all around. So I've seen him fight. I've seen him crack a case. I don't know what Nick. Okay, wait, no, that's not okay. So from the movie, Nick Fury. See, I'm trying to like delve back to the comics, but in the movie, Nick Fury, I saw him wear a beanie, and I'm not making fun of him like that. Like that's a spy thing, right? I'm gonna dress like someone else. You won't even recognize me. Because in that same note, like Black Widow, I've seen her do a lot of spy things. I've seen her do all kinds of data stuff, messing with people, all kinds, mental things. But Nick Fury's always Nick. When Black Widow pretends to be the secretary and not the super spy, I'm like, oh, okay. Everyone in that office believes she's the secretary, a normal lady. So I just had to think about it. I'm like, damn, I know there must be more to Nick Fury. And it's interesting because I feel like at this point he's more myth than man. And that might be part of the gimmick too, like Batman, I'm a bat, fear the bat. I'm not a normal man. So, okay. I thought maybe you could throw something at me because I don't actually know.
From the Twitch chat, Sparta bringing up, the Punisher don't have no powers either.
Okay, hold on now.
Also true.
True.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's correct. But I've seen the Punisher punish people. I mean, I'm being silly here, but
yeah.
like I've seen him shoot people and punch people and all. But like Nick Fury, like has he ever averted a war? He must have. I don't know. Like okay, like I think I've seen Black Widow take photos of blueprints, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like with Nick Fury, I guess like you, I have a lack of exposure to him. I thought maybe there's something I was missing, but I can't think of one. You know?
I think as we go through the timeline, I think there's probably more to it as I remember. But in our, we'll say, comics heyday, I don't profess to be an expert at Marvel comics. I'm not. You know,
Yes.
I'm a light reader and I know some stuff, but definitely not to the extent as many people on the internet. However,
Fair enough.
I think during our heyday, Nick Fury was already the boss, right?
True,
So
true,
his
yeah.
doing of the spy things, of the special things, that was in the past. So that's why you would have never seen it at that point.
Interesting. So something a little more recent then. So in I want to say the one Winter Soldier must have been Winter Soldier. So Nick Fury's driving in the van, and then they start shooting the van. Right, like he's cornered. All the bullets are flying his way. He's in a lot of pain. All that stuff. Yep. Okay, so there's that part where it's like, bruh, did they just kill Nick Fury? Holy crap! Right now, I was watching it with a friend of mine, or actually a group of friends. But I'm watching it and I'm not thinking about it. I'm like, oh, you know, maybe they killed him. Who knows? Because there's all these twists and stuff. This is the movies. It's not the comics. Who knows? And then later on, he was alive, and I'm like, okay, I get that. He was pretending to be dead. So afterwards, my friend said something to me, and I had to pause and agree with him for a second. Do you know what LMD stands for?
LMD.
Yes.
No.
Okay, no problem. LMD stands for Life Model Decoy. So a good
Oh,
example.
okay.
Yeah, those things. So for the people who are listening who don't know what that is, all right, let's like this, Chris. Say you see me at a restaurant. Oh, let's have lunch together, Alvin. Okay. So then you sit down, you guys are eating. Boom! The someone shoots that Alvin in the head, but you realize later on, oh, it's a robot. It was super realistic. No one ever would have known it was an LMD. See, it wasn't me. I'm safe in my headquarters or whatever. So when he said that, because my friend was right, that happens in the comics. You thought you got Nick Fury, but no, you didn't. You got the LMD. So I said to him, you know what? One, absolutely, that does apply. This is Marvel. Two, man, the audience isn't ready for that, man. I think if someone's gonna die, they need to actually die, or if someone's gonna take a hit, it needs to be the real person. Like,
See, the funny part is the comics audience is ready for that, but
Correct?
the movie audience isn't.
Correct. Absolutely correct. I'm at the point in my life where if I see Doctor Doom get shot, I don't even care anymore. I'm like, I know that's a robot. That's a Doom bot. Who cares? It's such a bad, but it's a cynical, appropriate comic book point of view. If you read enough, there's so many Doom bots. And I'm like, interesting, because, okay, so here's the thing about LMDs, right? After a while, the deaths kind of seem a little shallow, because who knows, probably LMD. But then we're going to have Skrulls. Clearly, we're going to have Skrulls. I don't know if the public's ready for that either. Thoughts?
That's what's going to be in Captain Marvel, right? So
Yeah.
I think, as I understand it, a big part of Nick Fury's comic book story was during the Secret Invasion.
Oh, see, I don't even know the timeline. But okay. That makes
So,
sense, actually.
I mean, my guess is that during Captain Marvel, he'll play a very large role in the background of it. And we may find out that it is a lot of LMD action going on with him in the future. I watched a YouTube video from a comic historian earlier today
Okay.
before talking about this, and exactly what you're describing, the LMD, is what Nick Fury's did for like years during that time.
Yeah.
In that, oh, he's dead. Oh, no, he's not.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. I'm at the point where, okay, in the movies, I can see him dying, maybe. In the comics, I'm like, whatever. You know, which is a terrible thing. Now, I'll throw this at you, because someone mentioned this. I thought it was really interesting. The statement was made directly. War Machine, Rhodey, is a Skrull. Boom. Just period. There's no theory. There's not even like I theorized this. That guy, whoever said it, that was his point of view. Like, he believes in that, like the way I believe 2 + 2 = 4. So what are your thoughts on that? I'm curious.
So, ironically, I had watched a YouTube video, not for this, but previously that talked about it. It was on Game Theory.
Okay.
Film Theory.
Okay.
That's the real popular Matt Pat channel. What they were talking about was that 100% Rhodey is a Skrull, and proven point, how the hell, even in armor, did he fall that far during Civil War and only paralyzed from the waist down? How did he not die? While most would.
Hard
And
call.
there's a
Okay.
couple other reasons, but
Okay.
like that was a very large sticking point that they tried to make that Rhodey's a Skrull.
Okay, wait, I'm gonna get super real here, just in case to clarify. We don't give a rip that it's Don Cheadle. That's not the point, right? Like, it's a different human actor that I could shake his hand playing the same character. That's not a point, right? Or is that a point?
Well, it was a minor point, but I don't think that's any grounds to stand on.
I don't think so either. I'm just checking. Okay. So here's the thing, all right? This is from Spider-Man. I don't know how much Spider-Man you followed. I don't know if you know the name. Okay, wait, let's start it from the beginning for people who don't know so I can shock them a little because this was shocking to people. Peter Parker, Spider-Man. That's a known thing. Totally a known thing. If I were to meet a guy named Peter Parker and later on I found out he's Spider-Man, cool, we're friends. That's how it is. No problem. For like, I don't know, a decade plus, that's how it was. It was always Peter Parker. But then there was something called Clone Wars or Clone Saga or something. Do you know about that?
So sort of.
Okay.
I feel like that was one of the bases for Spider-Verse.
Part of it. I'm not sure. So let me give you the Alvin spin on this because I don't know it that well, but I know what I know and I know what I've read. So one day, as a reader, you are told, hey man, you've been lied to this whole time. So Peter Parker's a clone, right? The real guy, his name is Ben Reilly. Here's some Ben Reilly comics. Oh, bruh, people went ape crap, man. It was crazy. People were like, no, I refuse to be okay with this. And you know what? I kind of feel the same way. Like, bruh, if you want to bring Ben Reilly into things, bring him in. But don't crap on like all that stuff. You know, like some people grew up with Spider-Man, to put it mildly. I'm sure many people did. That is a kick in the face. And I don't know if it was worth it for them. And that's how I feel. Cause like, okay, I am not in love with War Machine. Sorry, War Machine fans. He's just a dude in the comics. But there's gotta be someone who is. And then for them to be like, nah, he's a Skrull. You guys like a guy who's a fake. Like, oh, I don't know if the audience is ready, man. Like comic book people are ready, unfortunately, because we've been burned that way. You know, but like, is the average audience member ready for that? I don't know, man. That's just rough.
There's a lot of people predicting that one of those, like, someone's been a Skrull the whole time.
I get that. So, of course, I'm referring to all of this as a guy who reads the comics. If anything, I would be the watcher in the comics, like, cause I don't interact with any of them. But in the comics, cause I think Spider-Woman was a Skrull for a long time or something like that. Whatever. There are guys who love that woman. That's the ex-girlfriend. That is the girlfriend or the wife. And like those characters being told, whoopsie, that's been a Skrull this whole time. Even that on screen as a audience member, I'm like, oh, bad taste in the mouth. Damn, that's just weird. So okay, anyway, I don't know if people are ready for it. That's all.
While we're on that topic, we might as well just bring it up now, right? When talking about if people are ready for that kind of thing, how about the recreation of Nick Fury?
Oh. Okay, hold on, because I thought about this too. So I'm going to dial back the timeline here a little bit, or at least real life time, because this doesn't exist in comics. I really love Daredevil. I love the show. I think, and I'm not sure, Daredevil is easily top 5, one of my favorite shows ever. Love that show. Having said that, I'm a huge...
The Netflix one?
Yes, Netflix.
Okay.
I just said that because I had to preface it, because I'm about to not say that. Daredevil, the movie, I also enjoyed that. I'm a big Daredevil fan. I'm not anti-Ben Affleck, you know, so it's like, whatever. It's a movie I enjoy. Having said that, there is a black man in that movie playing a white man. That was the Kingpin, for people who don't remember, Wilson Fisk. Yep. And I remember talking to my friends and being like, this is weird, right? Is this weird? Is this weird? I don't know, is this weird? And part of it was like, well, Kingpin's a huge dude in the comics. So yeah. Michael Clark Duncan is a big dude. Maybe that was the logic, you know? But there was definitely a change in color there. And honestly, I was okay with it. Now, the reason why I mentioned that is, essentially, this is not the first time we've had a white man become a black man on screen.
Yep.
Yeah, so I do wonder if Nick Fury came out right now, like the way he is now, but without the, you know, the Michael Clark Duncan thing or whoever else had the same thing, if it would be taken a little more negatively. Because for me, I was like, oh, look, Nick Fury, okay. That was it for me. I didn't even think about it. I was like, okay.
The thing about it is that in our episode, I think it was the Stan Lee episode, where we talked about Nick Fury and Samuel L. Jackson, and it came up very briefly. We hypothesized that the chicken came before the egg, and in this case, chicken being movie and egg being comic book. the opposite is actually true. The Black Nick Fury in the comic books came before the Samuel L. Jackson casting in the movie.
Oh, okay, okay.
So they actually designed that character in the comic books. Now, the guy who did the design admitted that he did it with the likeness of Samuel L. Jackson because that's the character he was actually trying to portray, that type of badass dude.
Fascinating. Okay.
But that came, as far as I know, I'm looking at Wikipedia right now. It says that Ultimate Nick Fury, which came out in 2001, which predates Iron Man by about 7 years.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That, you know what? Okay, one, that sounds kind of familiar. I don't remember it too well. Two, wow, that's pretty cool, actually. You know, I applaud that artist. Like, clearly he started a quote-unquote campaign, and it paid off well. Like, we got Samuel L. Jackson on the screen. That's pretty cool.
So reading a little further, I guess the character appeared first in 2001, and he was actually closer to himself. The redesign was in 2002, which still predates Iron Man by a number of years.
Yes.
Again, the artist admitted that he wanted the design like that, and once that character became so popular, that's why they ended up sticking with that version of Nick Fury for the Marvel movies.
Oh, okay. So, see, that I wasn't sure about. But okay. I didn't know how... I swear, I think someone mentioned it to me a long time ago, but I didn't know if it was taken well. So clearly it was taken well. That's pretty cool.
It was
Nice.
taken well.
Okay, nice.
So,
nice.
from the Twitch chat, Sparta mentioning, honestly, I think it would be cool if Captain America would be a Native American.
Huh.
Think about that.
Okay, I
Ponder
can
on
get
that for a
behind that.
second.
That's cool, yeah.
I could get behind that too.
Yeah,
See,
that's cool.
the tough part is that when Captain America was created, they were looking for a war hero type dude, right? Like a
Yes.
US of A war hero dude, just like in the original movie.
Yes.
And very similar to, I mean, Captain America predates Nick Fury, of course. But Nick Fury in the 60s, right? That's kind of your post-World War II, but getting into Cold War type, time. So they wanted a spy, a CIA dude, right? Who was a war hero previously. And that was what would inspire people and relate to people. So I think that's why Nick Fury was who he was. Now, the redesigned Nick Fury, the character was so popular, they actually killed off the original Nick Fury or retired him, basically, for this guy to become Nick Fury.
Okay.
The actual origin is that his name is, I think, like Marcus or something like that, and he's the son of Nick Fury.
Okay.
That's how they get that backstory. And what I'm unsure of is what came first. Was he supposed to be a redesign, or was he supposed to be the son first? That I don't know. And I'd have to dig a little deeper to find that. But eventually, there's a storyline to where, as we said before, old Nick Fury takes this serum to keep himself young. If he doesn't take the serum, he ages rapidly to his actual real age.
Was he cut off then? Was the supply cut off or something?
He had to give his supply to, I think it was Bucky or someone else, in order to help them stay alive. And then he said that, okay, I got enough left to kind of go out peacefully. And supposedly he, quote unquote, retires and goes out peacefully, to where the son changes his name to Nick Fury Jr. and then kind of takes over the mantle of Nick Fury. And that's, I guess, where the comics are now.
Huh. Okay. That's kind of cool.
Which is super cool, I think.
I was watching this thing, and I don't know if this is the same universe, but it was saying something like, screw the Ultimates. Ultimates were bad all around, didn't like any of it. However, we did get Miles Morales. And I'm like, hey, yeah, Miles is awesome. I did not know that this was the ultimate Nick Fury. So, hey, that's another positive. We got two good things. I wanted to save this for the last thing because to me, this is such a mind-bendingly cool question. But
Then save for the last thing.
Okay. Well, okay, whatever. It's fine. Okay, so the other thing then. So I also don't know much about Captain Marvel. That's putting it pretty mildly. I'm shocked at how much I don't know about her, actually. Do you know anything about her?
I'll give the basic of what I do know is that there was a previous version of Captain Marvel known as Marvel, the Kree warrior, supposedly. Yes. And then, so he was known as Captain Marvel in the original design. Carol Danvers came around later, but they, in another storyline, how it supposedly goes is she I guess is, I don't want to say in love, but she is traveling the world or with Marvel, the galaxy with Marvel,
Oh,
because he originally posed as a human, because she's an Air Force pilot. So they met in the Air Force, and she found out who he actually was, and he takes her with him, and they go on adventures. And then what happened was there's this bad dude, and then she shields Marvel from some blast, and somehow they both get hit, and she absorbs part of his powers, and then she becomes Captain Marvel. That's the very, very, very short version.
that's pretty cool. Okay, you definitely know more than I do.
That's the question everyone's asking, is that if Jude Law is Marvel in the movie.
I totally
and we don't
assumed.
know. We don't know.
Okay. Oh. Well, here, this is me keeping it real so you understand where I'm coming from because I'm so confused. I told a friend of mine, he loves Captain Marvel, and I told him, I got like 5 faces running in my head right now, man. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, there's that guy who's not from Earth. That's probably Marvel. Then there was someone else. Then there's the woman Brie Larson plays. But then there's the other girl. I think her name is Captain Marvel, like a newer girl. And I'm like, man, I don't know who's who. And on top of that, in the Supergirl TV show, which I stopped watching, which is too bad, I should get back in it. Anyway, I think there's a character named Linda Danvers or something like that. And I'm like, wait, Danvers? And my brain was just like, okay, hold on, let me try to connect these dots. So I think I know 2 of the Captain Marvels that you're talking about. Are you familiar with Giant Fist Captain Marvel? Like her fist?
So you're talking about Ms. Marvel, I think.
I thought she was...
I don't think she took Captain Marvel.
Oh,
so I'm vaguely familiar with it, but only because it's a very interesting story in and of itself. Real quick, I'm going to jump back to Twitch chat. Sparta mentioning, what if OG Nick Fury came back? Oh, that would be funny, actually. And imagine that in like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They bring back white Nick Fury.
You know, I thought about this when I was writing down my stuff to talk about. Liam Neeson. There, I'm just throwing it down. I'm just, boom, okay. Throw it down there, Alvin. Boom. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna pause right there because my next point was: did you know that there was a Nick Fury like movie that starred David Hasselhoff?
I swear I heard that somewhere once, but no, I never. Have you seen it? I've never seen it.
No.
Okay.
But again, in doing research for this show, I found it. I'm like, what the hell is this? Do I watch it before we do the show? I was like, no, I don't think I can bring myself to do that.
Yo,
it's
Chris,
probably fucking horrible.
Chris, that's my favorite Marvel movie, man. That's my favorite movie. Real talk, favorite. Okay.
Real talk, favorite movie.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway. Dude. Liam Neeson's a good pick.
Yeah, totally.
For old Nick Fury, that'd be kind of cool.
Eye patch, boom, do it. You know.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Okay.
I get the whole Taken vibes from that. You know.
Oh, totally. Yeah. See, that's why for me it just fits. Yeah.
Badass.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep going down that rabbit hole.
No, go ahead.
What about Jason Statham?
Oh, too young.
Pure
maybe?
Comedic value.
Okay. I get that. See, on that note, and just to throw back the homage, I'd want him to smoke. Just to acknowledge, he's the old one, you know?
Yeah.
Because I like that Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson doesn't smoke. I think it's not necessary. But I feel like if we're going to play the timeline and throw other faces in there, he should smoke. Cigar, probably. Yeah. Just to throw it in there.
Okay, sorry. Back to your original question. The Big Fist Marvel or Captain Marvel is Kamala Khan, who is actually I don't want to butcher this. She's either Indian American or Pakistani American. I forget which one.
Okay.
I forget how she gets her powers, but it's in a lot of the cartoon series. But she idolizes Carol Danvers. So that's why she takes up a Marvel type name.
Okay.
But not the same character, not a passing of the torch. Different power set, different everything.
All right, I gotta ask you this. So, I know this from the X-Men cartoon show, and I think also a few comics. So anyway, Rogue touches someone's face, and then Rogue can fly. Who is that person? Is that Brie Larson? Is that the woman that Brie Larson is gonna play? I'm thinking.
Okay, so Captain Marvel also kind of goes by Ms. Marvel. I think that's the same character,
so it is
along the years, and I think you're right.
Okay. See, I don't know. There's so many names. Okay. And just to throw it out there, because we do not work for Marvel or DC, there's also a guy in DC. He used to be called Captain Marvel. Yeah. So again, my brain is just like, there's too many names associated with it. Actually, on that note, I think this is like Marvel saying, here, this is me putting the flag on the moon. Here, boom, this is a statement. So like any movie after this called Captain Marvel would be like, no, this is confusing. Marvel already claimed it, you know. By the way, Shazam's coming. I can't wait, man. Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
It looks like fun. Yeah.
But yeah, I think no matter what the previous stories were, when this movie comes out, that's gonna be the established. All right, Captain Marvel, here you go. Yeah. Just like you're saying.
Yeah. Agreed. You know what? I'm gonna use this as my cool question because I thought of an even cooler question for later. Okay. So anyway, all right. So right now, World War II, long time ago. You know, I feel that way. I feel like it was a while back. I feel like if you mention World War II, we're talking about the quote unquote good old days, or however you want to phrase it. It's a long time ago.
What? Hold on.
Maybe not good old days.
World War II, the good old days.
Sorry, I apologize to anyone who has any kind of association with World War II. That's not what I meant. I just meant it's like the old days. Like it's a different vibe. Like I like how in Captain America he's asking a girl to dance. Like that's so sweet. I don't want to know what people are tweeting each other right now or Instagramming or Snapchatting each other. You know, like I'm sure it's not the same as holding a girl's hand or asking a girl to dance. Okay.
Swipe right, swipe left, baby. Swipe right, swipe left.
Totally different animal. Correct. Yep. So here's the thing. Right now, if I were to write a story, maybe World War II. Yeah, feels about right, long time ago, you know? Okay, now let's cut it 50 years even further. Okay, hold on now. If we're writing Captain America, is he from the Gulf War? Is he from the... No, you know, like for me, he should just always be from World War II. If it's 200 years from now, screw it. He's the guy who was in ice for 200 years. Thoughts?
So you're talking about a romanticized version of World War II.
Well, in a way. I mean, for me, that's where Captain America was born. You know? Like, that to me, it just fits him. It wouldn't be the same animal if it was like, yeah, Gulf War. You know, Operation Desert Storm. I'm like, not the same. It's not. I'm not trying to belittle any of those things. All of those things were terrible. There's a lot of death. But the fictional character of Captain America is tied in with... Yo, Sparta, throw it at me. What are your thoughts? I'm just curious. I want to hear other thoughts. Chris?
I'm thinking that Captain America stood for something, right?
Yes,
and I think that's why he has to be matched up with that time period. Now,
okay.
In the same respect, if we talked about the Gulf War, as we said, you know, which is from the 90s.
Sure.
Would you have a character that looked like Captain America, or would he look different too?
See...
But if we had the ISIS killer of today, if we talk about ISIS and all that stuff,
sure, exactly.
Would you have a Captain America looking character, or would you have the Iron Man from Iron Man 1 who drops in, shoots all those missiles, and pieces out? Right?
That's a fair point. That's true too.
So I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Mind you, I'm agreeing with you here. But I think that speaking to Nick Fury, I think it's the same thing too.
Okay.
When Fury came out, right, the espionage and spies, that was a thing.
See, actually like, this is something people make fun of current soldiers for, and I don't think it's right. But anyway, in the old days, you fly the airplane to fight the bad guys. Now you remote control the airplanes. You know, I think more than anything, it's just a sign of the times, and I think it's just how our technology has advanced. And the reason why I say that now is, maybe that would be the thing, right? Okay, so, oh man, you don't know Overwatch that well. Anyway, Diva is a fictional character. She plays gamer. She plays extremely well. So she was recruited by their military to fly their cool ass thing because she's so good. Like she has hand-eye coordination, or however you want to break it down.
Yeah.
So like that Captain America in the future could be that guy, super good at controlling robots. Totally different animal, you know. So yeah, for me, exactly. For me, I want to be from World War II forever. 500 years from now, okay, he's the guy in the ice for 500 years.
I'm with you.
Yeah, just thinking about, like, because times evolve, right? Like, technology evolves, all that stuff. It just evolves. So yeah, just thoughts.
Looks like Sparta's with us too. Captain America comes from a different era.
Yeah.
And that's different values, right? That makes him who he is.
Totally. Yeah, totally. I love that, by the way. I love that about him.
Well, just like in that movie, right, at the end of Cap 1, when he, wakes up in New York City and is just like lost, right? And as he progresses from movie to movie, you can kind of see it too, right?
Yeah.
The slow progression in learning all the trivial things that the rest of us just take for granted.
You know, I will say this, and this is Nick Fury related to in the Captain America movie. So there's that part where it's like, all right, we're gonna put these big ass ships in the sky, and we're ready to snipe whatever bad guys we want. And Cap's like, whoa, you know, I thought the punishment came after the crime, and I'm like, that's a valid question, right? But the speech that is made by the higher ups, I can see it, right? Why wouldn't I want to shoot a bad guy down with 0 casualties on my side? But then, of course, it just, you see the movie. You see it turn bad. You see it turn south. That's a real thing, too. But the values, like, now versus the values then. Like, Cap instantly was like, nah, I'm not sure I'm cool with this. Instantly, his gut just said it. I like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good stuff.
See, but the funny part is that we can agree about Nick Fury being also a time-based character, right?
True.
But that was older, original white Nick Fury.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
what do you think about new Nick Fury?
I know so little about him. I just know he does amazing things. Like, here's one, because I had to think about this, okay? I know for the Justice League that, at least in one of the comics, Batman and Superman said, hey, you know what we need to do? Bro, we need a team. Okay. And they start forming the team. So the members of the team decided to form the team. Now, in the case of the Avengers, Nick Fury said, okay, Iron Man, I want you in on my team, or whatever the speech was. So Nick Fury was the one that thought of that. Having said that, I don't know how the Avengers started in the comics. I think they were just all in the same room together randomly, and they're like, man, we better help each other. The bad guys are dangerous here, or something. Do you remember that?
I do not, actually.
Okay, yeah, I don't either.
At least, hey, it's a good thing we don't run a comic book podcast or anything like that. Right? Like, fuck, we'd be screwed.
Small kind embarrassing, yeah.
Just a little bit.
But, well, the reason why I say all that is, in the movie, on one hand, you could say, yeah, whatever, he's just a human. But on the other hand, he did bring them all together, and well. This thing still breaks my heart, but I like the part where he was like, look at these bloody cards. You know, Agent Coulson died. Look at the cards. You didn't have time to sign or whatever. And I'm like, oh, that was a good one. That was a really good one.
Yeah.
And even Maria Hill was like, he didn't have those cards on him. And then Samuel Jackson's like, yeah, it's cool. I had to do what I had to do. But now they're a team. Hey, you know what? They're saving the world. So that was absolutely instrumental that he was a part of that. Because who knows? Though, like, Cap and Iron Man argue so much, maybe they would have just said, I don't care anymore. Bye. But with that moment, those bloody cards, you know, united everybody. I was like, wow, that was very well played. Scary, actually, that level of manipulation. But yeah.
So we got Serial in the chat. Never really been into Marvel movies that much. Don't worry, we just watched the movies and fanboy with it. Yep. But we hypothesized about the comics that we sort of and did or did not read. Yep. Sparta talking about Nick Fury has been through a lot, though. He's been through time. He's been able to see the changes in times. That's true. You know what would be really fucking cool now that we're talking about it is that what if they retcon Samuel L. Jackson in Captain Marvel to have the same serum that old white Nick Fury had from the comics? Like he's been around since actual World War II kind of thing. What would that be like?
You know, that strikes me as something he wouldn't tell anyone about. So I could see that. You know, like that's just part of his deal. I could see that.
Interesting. I don't know.
Actually, yeah, right? Because so Cap was in the ice, but to my knowledge, Nick Fury was just operating this whole time, right?
What do you mean? Like
he's been doing stuff this whole time since World War II days. Actually, okay, current Avengers, he's been alive since World War... I don't actually know.
Wait, current Avengers comics or current Avengers movie?
Current Samuel L. Jackson, the man playing that character. How long has that character been alive? I assumed World War II, but I don't actually know.
Wait. Okay. Now I'm confused. So we're talking about Samuel L. Jackson in the movies, or are we talking about Black Nick Fury from the comics?
No, the movies. It's a movie-based question. Because in the comics, we know he's like the son of, right? So we know there's a generational skip. We know there's all this other stuff. So in the movies, Samuel L. Jackson, the guy who talks to Robert Downey Jr., how old is that character? Is he just a normal dude? I mean, aside from the eye and all that stuff?
I assume so. Again, they don't really tell you.
They don't tell you. Somehow, you know, because of my knowledge of the comics, I just assume that he's been around like multiple decades. But I don't I don't know.
I think all will be revealed in Captain
Yeah.
Marvel, the movie, I think.
True. Well, I mean, if anything, so clearly the man has hair in that trailer. So if he did get some kind of special serum, it would have been later then, I guess. Could be a Kree
Well,
serum.
or, I mean, he does play a younger version of himself, but maybe he just ages slower.
Okay.
I don't
okay.
know. I'm willing to bet that they're not going to retcon the serum and then say that he's been around since the 1940s or whatever. I don't think that's going to happen because that, again, is too weird if you think about it.
No, I get
Right?
that. I get that. Yeah, I get that. So I'm going to change it up here because we're talking about Nick Fury. And this is one of the most positive and happy Nick Fury memories that I have. So there was a game before, I think it was called The Punisher. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like Final Fight. So side scrolling, but you could play Nick Fury and you could play The Punisher. Did you remember that game?
I don't remember playing it, but I think I heard of it.
You've seen it? Okay, yeah. Dude, I'm smiling right now. Like I
Okay,
love Final Fight. Yeah. That's all. I love those games. It was cool because in Final Fight you normally just run and jump. That's just special, or walk and jump. But in that game you could roll, all this other stuff. I think of course he was smoking the cigar. There were guns. It was just trippy. And I miss that. We don't have enough of those. We don't have enough of those anymore. That makes me sad. I miss two guys co-op on a couch or in the arcade. You know, like you play together next to each other, not one monitor per guy. I miss that. That was cool.
Wait, so you think of side-scrolling beat 'em up, and the first one that comes to your mind is some crazy Marvel game with the Punisher and Nick Fury?
No, not the first one, although definitely high on the list. The first one is Aliens versus Predator. That was amazing. I
Alien
love that
versus
game.
Predator.
Oh, man, it's so much fun. Yeah.
Were you around when we were playing Dungeons and Dragons Shadow over Mystara?
A little bit. And
Bro.
yes. Okay, hold on. Let me tell you what my brain does when I think of shadows, okay? Ha 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 ha. Do you remember that? Do you remember that
Yeah,
super
yeah,
annoying
yeah,
thing?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god. Oh my god. Okay. For the people listening, there's a way to glitch it so that you could have one move like infinite, and then the girl would shoot stuff out of her hands and she says "ha" every time, and you just hear it for like 2 minutes because the players are abusing it. Okay. Anyway, that's what my brain does when I think. But that game was amazing too. Love that game. Same style. Totally the same.
It's crazy.
All right, Chris, I'm going to throw you my big question. And after this, it's up to you however you want to take it because I got to ask you this.
Sure, I'm ready.
Okay, I've never asked you this, and this came up with a friend of mine and the group of dudes, right? So one dude was like, bruh, this kind of thing can only come from Alvin. So I'm like, hey, I'll take it. Okay, so let's just stick with Marvel because if we were to go with any genre and any story, it'd be too much. So you're a dude, you have hormones. Which Marvel character would you date? There you go. You can take it as deep or not as deep as you want.
How the hell did we get to this?
Okay, the reason why I mentioned, okay, I'll tell you my friend's answer, and it just kind of ruins it a little bit, but he said Marvel Girl. I'm like, oh, okay. See, I don't know Marvel Girl that well, but he loves Marvel Girl. For the record, the Mohawk one, I believe. So he loves her, and that was his answer. So I'll get to why in a second, but thoughts? Anybody? Go ahead, man.
Oh, you're making me think real hard here, dude. Like,
I don't know how many guys are in the chat. I haven't checked genders, but hey, throw it. Actually, women too. Throw your answers, chat. Let's hear it. I'm just curious.
what Marvel character would you date?
Yes.
What Marvel character would you date? Okay, let's think about this.
Okay.
This is like the fucking other one from the Steve Irwin podcast that you got me like umming for like 2 minutes straight. God damn it.
Okay, how about
So, go ahead. I was going to say, growing up, I was always a Jean Grey fan.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But that was before the X-Men 2 and 3. No hate to Famke Johnson or whatever the actress' name was. Actress's name was.
Agreed.
Sparta in the chat. You know it's Black Widow.
Ooh, okay. Hold up now. See, this is where it gets weird and into nerd mode, but hey, let's write it out. So, Black Widow, awesome woman, right? Clearly. But then you got to think about what dating her would actually be like. So you're on a date with her. Holy crap, there's guns ablazing all of a sudden. What the hell's going on? Well, she wronged someone 2 years ago, and that guy's trying to kill her now. That's part of your date. Now, some guys like that. See, so again, like as my friend said, like only Alvin does this. But see, that's the thing, right? So like now it's like, well, what would the date itself be like? Okay, anyway, I'm running it, having fun with it. Black Widow is awesome. As Iron Man, or as Tony said to Gwyneth Paltrow, Pepper. As Tony said to Pepper, I want one. You know, like, yeah, I'm sure every guy in the audience was that. Okay.
Oh, goodness.
So
Serial in the chat. Not enough experience with this sort of stuff. Black Widow is pretty. Well, you know.
fair enough.
Well, I mean, see, Scarlett Johansson will say is pretty. Well, you know.
Yes. Well, that's kind of a given.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
actually, on that note, just for fun, so one thing I thought was interesting from the X-Men was Jean Grey, to my knowledge, was always a normal-looking girl, like officially. If you were to live in that world, she would be a girl you would see randomly on the street. Having said that, Emma Frost, apparently.
Yes. Always extreme, right?
Yeah, it's trippy. Like, I didn't realize. I just thought she was just another character. But in the story, she's like supermodel level.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
She was always on the extreme side of like that character itself was made to look like that.
True. Yes. All right, Chris, should I go first or you got one?
I just said I started with Jean Grey.
I'm sorry. You're right. Okay, you're right. Sorry. Okay. I feel like we're hitting all the rounds. So, for me, I thought about this. Well, when I talked to them, because we were talking about anyway, Jen Walters, She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh,
She-Hulk.
boom! That's a winner. That is a winner.
I can't
Ultimate
complain.
respect there. That is awesome.
Okay, so to break it down, right, just for fun, because we're going there. On one hand, she has normal levels, right, where she looks like a normal person, and she is normal. You can talk to her like a normal person. I think I saw a comic once where she was literally eating a hot dog. Like, so she just eats like a normal person. It's not all caviar all the time. And then
when we say normal person, it's just that they're superheroes, right? So
yeah, right, deep power.
You're not like so far away from them. You can relate to them, like
yes, bingo.
Okay.
Yes. See, but here's the other thing though. She-Hulk, the superpowered version of She-Hulk, you can still talk to her. She doesn't lose her mind the way her cousin does. You know what I mean? Like, she's still relatable and still, well, someone you can talk to. So there you go. That's all. I thought that was fun. And she seems intellectual, so good conversations.
Well, she's a lawyer, right?
Exactly. See, that's what I see. Like, too much thought into this. This is just nerd mode, having fun. So, but yes, exactly. She's a lawyer too.
Chat likes your answer. Just saying.
Nice, awesome.
That's a good pick. I wasn't thinking about that.
Well, I mean, there's
but I
so
wasn't
many
thinking about
characters.
much, really. If I was being honest, like you hit me with that, I'm like, oh fuck, like oh boy.
For the record, I was big on Psylocke for a long time. Jim Lee draws great. He's an incredible artist. But then, man, Psylocke's so cold. Like, and plus, same thing. The hand would be chasing her. Yeah, like why would you even want to spend time with that?
No, Psylocke is very. We'll say that was like the epitome of a sexualized character back in the day, right?
I'll agree to that.
And as far as personality of that character, you're just like, oh, like, my goodness.
Yes, agreed.
I feel like they could have given Olivia Munn more justice with it, honestly. Like, let her do a little more with it. I was so disappointed.
On that note, one, I will definitely agree. And two, see, the thing about that is there's so many characters to juggle. And I'll say this, whenever she was on screen, I was fine with it. She was the badass. She was kind of quiet. Cool. It all fits for me. But yeah, like, there was no story about her childhood where she was arguing with her friend. Like, you don't get that. There's not enough time for that. The movie has to cram so much in there. So one, yes, I wanted more. Two, I was fine with it.
But see, that's the problem is that her backstory is so cool.
True. I agree to that. I mean,
granted, it wasn't a Psylocke movie. I get it.
Exactly, correct. See, this is super juiced, but I feel like if you got Psylocke Jones, you should just go enjoy Elektra from Daredevil. Because that was fun.
Same thing.
It's not. I know.
Same thing.
I know it's not, but you get into the background of it,
and
Matt
that
Murdock.
movie was horrible.
Whoa. The movie I was okay with. Again, I'm biased. I like Daredevil. But the show was really good. The show you get to see. I'll put it to this way. Matt Murdock used to date Daredevil on that show. And when he sees her, it's like, oh, crap. It's not like, yay, she's here. It's more like, oh, Jesus, what do you want? What's happening?
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, for the recording, guess we're going to have to thank everyone for jumping into this crazy fucking pool of whatever we tried to do this week. It was interesting, honestly. This is the first time that we're looking at we say fictional character and trying to do the same dissection when we don't really know as much, right, as we would otherwise. Just because we're not comic experts, we're kind of just loosely related to it. But it was fun anyway.
I enjoy this kind of stuff.
And thanks for stumping the chump. If you guys like what you're listening to, or if you don't, you can check us out on other podcast services, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, all the like. All of our other episodes are there. They're not quite like this, but they're close, I guess. Follow us on social media at How's It Network, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We are broadcasting live from our Twitch channel today, twitch.tv/How's It Network. So if you follow us on social media, we'll let you guys know when we're going to do live recordings or live broadcastings, or if we're streaming games or anything like that.
And if you like that Alvin-y goodness, please visit alohaalvin.com. I currently have a collection of articles. It's called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Writers. I love it. It's good stuff. I write like how I speak, and if you enjoyed me today, I'm sure you'll enjoy the site.
And if you want more from me, you want some dank memes or some GIFs on the internet, I'm at How's It Chris on Twitter. Check me out. Sometimes I post, sometimes I don't. But, you know, we want to thank you again for lending us your beautiful ears. And just remember, it is not goodbye. We shall see you later.